There are so many categories of water. Divya, Sravanti, Khanitrima, Swayamjah. In the next slide, yes. And rainwater is Divya, flowing water, Sravanti, Khanitrima, water obtained by digging. By digging a well, you can say. And Swayamja, auto-generated water, which comes automatically out of earth, flows automatically. And all these waters are described in Rig Veda, the forms of water and the subtle distinctions between them, but how they are characterized by divine nature. This is also discussed. So many categories of water. So how you can say there is subtle study of the forms of water. Nadya, Samudra, Parthiva, Antariksha, Kupya, Varsha, waters of rivers, sea, water on the earth, in the orbit, in the wells, in the other water bodies. Then Vahanti, Sambharya, Palvalya, waters that are flowing, waters that are to be stored, waters in a palval or pool. Then Sutya in a pit, and Pathya flowing in the path or way, Katya is flowing through a canal. So these are the forms of water. So many other forms of water, they are discussed in many texts, any scientific texts also, and distinction between these forms of water. But the idea is that all these forms of water, they are Shubhankar, they cause auspiciousness, they are for good of the world, and we should obtain good from them. Therefore, we shouldn't pollute them. So this is the mantra from Veda again. Whatever water is there in the Kupa, whatever water that is there in the Nadi, in the rivers, whatever water is there in the Samudra, let them be Shagyum Syona Bhavantu. Fourth line is that let all these waters should be, let all these forms of water be auspicious for us. Let them cause Ananda, peace and Mangala in our life. So these are the ideas repeated quite often whenever these waters. There are pranamas, there are salutations, namaskaras to all these forms of water. These are the beautiful mantras in Namak Kupyaya Chavatyaya Charmai Dhrityaya Chatapya. These are from the Yajurveda. We offer pranamas to all forms of water. They are all to be worshipped. So these are created, these mantras are created with a feeling, because they feel the divinity there in those mantras. In the same way, Atharvaveda also repeats those lines. Next, water is a medicine, and how medicinal qualities are there in the waters. The Atharvaveda is called a Bhishak Veda also. It has Vedyak Shastra in Atharvaveda, and the Upaveda, Ayurveda. There are 4 Upavedas which I have discussed: Dhanurveda, Gandharvaveda, Krashiveda, and Ayurveda. So Ayurveda is supposed to be the Upaveda of Atharvaveda, and Atharvaveda discusses the medicinal qualities of water. And it says that water can remove poison from the body. Apo vishasya bheshaji. Waters can become treatment for any poisonous intake. If there is food poisoning, you can treat it by intake of water. And water in this way can become a kind of medicine for various problems, for various diseases also. And the invariable relationship between soma and water. Soma is a concept, soma is a divine thing also, God also, and soma is a juice of a herb also. But soma is a vishwa bheshaj. Soma is a universal medicine, and because soma is there in the water, so water is also a universal medicine. It is said in Rig Veda and Atharvaveda. This is 26th slide. Coming to the next, there are so many mantras describing water as medicine. I will skip over these. Shusheva. Shusheva means water which lies very peacefully within. Sometimes we do not feel that there is water flowing within us in the forms of veins, because blood also has water. If there is no water in the blood, the blood would become lifeless. So everything is watery within our body. Our eyes have water, our nose has water, our ears, they have water. Every part of the body is imbued with water. So water lies peacefully. We do not feel that in our romas, in our rom kupas, there is water flowing behind. So therefore they say it is lying very peacefully, and it removes the viruses, it removes the germs. So anamoeba is one that is the thing that removes viruses or germs. And Bhishakbhyo Bhishaktara, this is a beautiful expression. It is the doctor of doctors. It is the best of the best doctors about water, they say. And Apo Acha Vadamasi. Let us speak good things about water only. Let us do not use any wrong language, any abusive language for water. This is what they say about waters. And then there are prescriptions in Puranas. There is a concept of Ishtapurta. So in the Dharma Shastra text, in the Smritis, they said that two types of karmas are there, two types of actions are there, Isht and Purta. Isht is ritual and Purta is public welfare activity. So all the persons who have resources, all the persons who have wealth or who have means to perform anything good, they should engage in both these types of karmas, Isht and Purta. So Purta is a public welfare activity. And how Purta acts are done, this is in a very extensive way Puranas and Dharma Shastra texts describe. So you should have extensive lectures on these concepts. So the kings, wealthy persons, they are asked to perform Purta acts, and one of the special acts in the whole gamut of Purta activities is that digging of wells, kupas, and construction of pools and construction of dams. These are all the Purta acts. And the Dharma Shastra says that whatever who does these activities of Purta, he gets merit or punya as great as performance of a Ashwamedh Yajna or any Vedic Yajna. And so many lines are there in Puranas, in Bhavishya Purana and other Puranas, that he reaches heaven. Whosoever makes a pond for the public welfare, for the use of the people of a city, if a wealthy person or a king gets that pond or talab prepared, constructed for the public welfare, he will reach heaven. This is because it will give a heavenly feeling to him that I have done something which is for my heaven. I have created my own heaven. I do not believe in any heaven outside this earth. Heaven is here. We create our own heaven and we create our own hell. And people are, the Purana, Dharma Shastra describe heaven and hell to inspire people to perform good acts. If you perform good acts, you will have heavenly feeling. That way you create your own heaven. So if the kings and wealthy persons, they construct pools and ponds and wells, kupas for public welfare, they will have that heaven. They will create their own heaven. And they will also attain emancipation. This Agni Purana says, Vapi Kup Tadagade Jirnodhare Mahapalam, a great result will be obtained by renovation of Kup, Vapi and Tadagas, and Mukti will also be obtained. The last line says, you will reach your moksha, nirvana, by performing these acts, these activities for public welfare. You will attain everything, your heaven and your nirvana. And they describe the gradations of these Purta acts. You can dig a small pool for the people of one mohalla, of one locality. You can get a very big well dug for the welfare of a larger community, and you can get a Vapi. Vapis have also disappeared now. In the cities, in the small towns where I have lived, there were small ponds. We used to call them chopada. It was a square kind of thing. And in many cities, the remains of those chopadas, those Vapis are there, which the kings had prepared. So they made arrangements to store water to them. So these are the instructions in the Dharma Shastra texts, in the Puranas, that the king should construct these Vapis for restoration of waters, because they are for the public welfare, they are for the common use of the populations. So how much merit or punya you earn by digging a well, how much by getting a Vapi, a pool constructed, these are the injunctions given in the Puranas and the Dharma Shastra texts. I will omit these these lines. It is then there are texts which describe the Jalotsarga. These are the very beautiful concepts. There are two types of water bodies, the wells and ponds. So there are Niruddha and Aniruddha. Niruddha is a water body which is privatized, which is owned by a private party. And Aniruddha is a water body, it may be well or tadaga or any water body, not rivers, any water body created by human beings by digging by their efforts. And if it is dedicated to public welfare, it becomes Aniruddha. So Aniruddha is not privatized, it is dedicated to the people. It is for public use. सार्वजनिक उपयोग के लिए जो कुआं तालाब dedicate कर दिया गया है, that is the idea of Jalashayotsaga. And there are texts in Sanskrit which describe the Utsarga Vidhi. It's a kind of ritual. And if you dedicate a well or a pond, you have to perform that ritual. So the priest will be called and Utsarga ritual will be performed. And performance of Utsarga ritual will give you merit, punya. So the wealthy people are inspired to perform Utsarga ritual because after performing the Utsarga ritual, you dedicate that pond or well to the people, to the masses for population use. So in this way they inspired, they gave a motivation to the persons who have some resources to dedicate these water bodies created out of efforts by human beings, artificial water bodies you can say, for public use. And rituals are prescribed to motivate them, because performing this ritual you will attain your heaven. And there are texts describing this. I collected about 12 such texts from one of the manuscript libraries, Jalashayad Utsarga Vidhi. And these texts are written by the priest to inspire the wealthy people how to perform a Utsarga ritual and how to dedicate a water body to the public use. So this how to inculcate that philosophy that water should be used piously with a feeling of piety and not to be misused. They connected it to these rituals. And this is the tradition about water. There are so many other texts. And coming to the next slide, which is 30th in my presentation, and use of environment for protection of water, and how to create an environment through water. These are the ideas. So they discuss that trees should be planted on the banks of rivers, around the wells, around all the water bodies, be it ponds, be it other pools or anything. You have to plant trees around them. And they also give the names of the trees: bamboo tree, maybe bakula tree, kadamba tree, because these are the trees which sustain the waters. So their scientific knowledge and their idea about the holiness, piousness of water, they are all inculcated together, implied together to motivate people for this sustainable development through water and for protection of the environment. So there are texts on how to construct ghats. Ghat Nirmana Vidhi. Ghat Nirmana Vidhi is a Sanskrit text. And on the banks of the rivers, the kings are supposed, or wealthy people are supposed to construct ghats for the convenience of the people, so that people can use the stairs of the ghat to approach the waters. And these ghats you can see on many rivers. Ganga Ghat is there. So many ghats are there. Dashashwamedh Ghat in Varanasi, Manikarnika Ghat is there in Varanasi. So they are prepared. So archaeological how the architecture of Ghat should be. There are scientific texts describing the Ghat Nirmana Vidhi and how many stairs, to what level the stairs will go. All these ideas are discussed, so that the river continuously flows. The flow of the river is not stopped, and the river is used conveniently without causing any damage to the environment. So the text on architecture about construction of ghat or ghats, they also correlate to the philosophy of water that way. And there are so many Puranas, Matsya Puran, Devi Puran, Varun Puran, Skand Purana. They give these ideas and they inspire, motivate people to construct a ghat. And then there are several technical details noted by me. The paraphernalia about the water bodies, how to protect the water by making Vapi Dwara. There is a outlet for the excess water, that is called Vapi Dwara. And the list of trees which are to be planted around the water bodies includes Ashwatha, that is people, Plaksha, that is Pakad, and Kadamba, Nichul, that is bamboo, and Kurvak, Tal, Ashok, Madhuk, Mahua, Molsiri, that is Vakul, that is also there. And the construction of Vapi Dwara, the outlet for the excess water in a pool or pond and well also, that is there. And the technicians for maintenance of these outlets and these water bodies, the names of those technicians are also mentioned in Rig Veda. Very interesting that Rig Veda is a Veda which describes mostly rituals. And Rig Veda, sorry, not Rig Veda, Yajur Veda. And it is 31st slide in my presentation. So Yajur Veda, which mostly describes rituals, it also prescribes that all these technicians, all these mistris, all these laborers who are involved in construction of water bodies should be invited to the yajna, and yajna bhaga should be given to them. They will be entitled to receive the yajna bhaga. It's a very subtle thing. Look at the vision of the seers, that maintenance of the water bodies is so important that the laborers, the persons who are responsible for the technical know-how and technical maintenance of those water bodies, they are invited to receive the bhaga of yajna. Like gods are offered yajna bhaga, and other kings and other humans are also offered the yajna bhaga. Then all the beings are offered yajna bhaga. But those shilpis, or those karigars, or those persons who have worked for creation of the water bodies, they are also invited. So this mantra names them: Sutya, Pathya, Katya, Nipya, Kulya, Sarasya. Those who are responsible for maintenance of the water bodies flowing on the path, those flowing in the canal, those maintenance of the canals, and and maintenance of the rivers, they should be invited, they should be honored. So there are details about them. And then names of those, they are some tribes are also mentioned: Dhivara, Dasha. These are the tribes. Yajurveda mentions them. You see, the whole complex society is there, and the import Kaivarta is there. So they are all tribes nowadays. So they are invited in the Vedic ceremony of yajna and given the part yajna bhaga, because they maintain these water bodies. They look for the piousness of the water bodies. So Jambhaka, this is 32nd slide in my presentation, Mainala, Parnaka, Shoshkala, Dhaivara, Dasha, they are the persons who are the technicians in a way, who are maintaining different water bodies, and they are to be honored by inviting in a Vedic yajna. This is what 30th chapter of Yajur Veda says. Then next slide, I have named some of the technical arrangements in the creation of water bodies, artificial water bodies like pools or wells. So there is a Jaladwara, Jalagarbha, Jalabhram. Jalabhram is a very complex technical arrangement. The water is made to flow around the city in circuitous canals, and that circuitous flow also causes its purification, because it passes through several stones and sand, and so it's a purification system. And there is a text, Samrangan Sutradhar by Bhoja. It's a very scientific and complicated text, very voluminous text, and it describes Jalabhrama. So Jala is rotating through small canals around the city, and it also through that flow, through that circuitous canals, it is also being purified, and ultimately it is collected in a water body. Then there are other technical names also. It will take time to explain the technical know-hows about the Pakshadwara is a kind of outlet for excess water. It is 34th slide. And Brahadwara, it's a big outlet, and Pakshadwara is a side door for excess, for outlet of the excess water. Then Nadi Karma is maintenance of river, how to save the river from pollution. All these are described in the text. Mansar I have named earlier. Mansar is a text on architecture and archaeology and Vastu. So it describes Jaladwara and how many bricks will be removed to make that Jaladwara. It also describes that in the wall of a water body, in the wall of a pool, or in the wall of a well, how to make that that outlet or dwara for excess, for outlet of the excess water. All these. Then 31st slide is Pranali is a form of outlet. Parivaha is also a concept. Parivaha verbally means overflow. So when water is overflowing, how to systematize the flow, not to cause any damage, any harm. So these are the arrangements which are made, technical arrangements to protect water and to protect people also from overflow of the waters. Then Vapi Dwara is described in Brihad Samhita of Varahamihira also, how to create the Vapi Dwara. Vapi is a kind of swimming pool, and there should be an outlet in the swimming pool as well for its purification. And Varahamihira gives, and Jalashayad Utsarg Vidhi is also a text, unpublished manuscript of Narayan Bhatta. It also describes the construction of Vapi Dwara or the outlet. So there are other paraphernalia also which the ancients in their technical knowledge, because of their technical know-how of these water bodies, they had created. And yes, most of the points, yes. There are instructions by Kautilya, 36th slide. Yes, and Kautilya describes dams. It's a very scientific and accurate description of dams in Kautilya's Arthashastra. He says there are two types of dams, Sahodak and Aharyodak. Sahodaka is a dam where water is coming automatically. Maybe the flow of river and the water is stored there. And Aharyodak is a dam where you artificially put water from other source, but the dam is there. So these are the two types of dam, but the king should construct as per the requirement of the people, or as per the requirement of the farmers or the people of the town. The king should construct these two types of dams. Setu is the dam, and it may be Sahodak or Aharyodak. And then what should be the arrangements around these dams, the plantation of the trees and the protection of the land around the dam. These are the prescription by in the second sthana of Arthashastra. And road water harvesting actually was a system used through Jalabhram, which I have referred earlier. So the water is flowing on the rivers. In the rainy time, I see that lots of water is wasted. We have not made arrangement to store that water because of the construction of pakka roads, construction of coal-tar roads, or whatever, the cemented roads. The natural storage of water, of rainy water, which was there in earlier times, that is not there, and we have not created any system to store that water which is flowing on the roads. So the ancient people, they made arrangements to store the road waters, and through the Jalabhram also, the circuitous flow of waters around the city through roads, that also was a system for road water harvesting. That is described by Bhoja. I will omit this long citation. Then coming to the categories of water.